Had a bit of an interesting moment on the road on the way in here. Pothole sort of caught me unawares and had a bit of an interesting time at 90 something kilometres an hour on the big lump of gravel in the middle of the road, but anyway, still upright. Thank you, Honda, you're a good girl. And yeah, got my house set up, about to head over to the pub and have a refreshing tonic water. Oh, the excitement. We're about to head up the road to Borroloola, up 320 kilometres of dirt, which apparently is, depends who you talk to. Some people say it's pretty good, some people say it's pretty terrible, but after my little moment yesterday, I'm not 100% G'd up on the idea, but anyway, got to get there, so. We've made it. Well, we've made it this far. We're 50 k's down the road. We've made it to the Northern Territory border. Big starter motor's playing up, so he's not turning it on. Yeah, bit of a leak there, but that seems to have stopped, so that's good. Now we've got a bit loose from the dirt yesterday. We have to walk the bikes across this one. It's not that deep, but there's lots of really big rocks hiding in the bottom. And neither Pete nor I particularly felt like tipping the bikes over in a creek this late in the day. We're already 5 hours in and we've still probably got a couple of hours to go on the Hell's Gate to Borroloola road, which is a complete bastard. Probably the worst road I've ever been on the bike. Well, not probably, 100% the worst. It's shit house. We've only got about 50 k's to go, but everyone tells us the last 50 to 60 k's is the worst. And if it's worse than what we've been on, then I don't know where we're at. But anyway, I'll see you when we get there.
Behind. No, I was the one who said to come this way. Oh, I see.
Well, that was a fucking hoot. Thanks, Pete.
You've never had so much fun.
I think I'm broken.
My bike is.
No, who's buying the beers tonight?
Yeah.
That was just no fun.
There's not one bit of it that was fun.
No. Arriving.
The countdown.
The last bit of a couple of k's of bitumen was alright.
Yeah.
Alright, we're going to go see.
The road from Hell's Gate to Borroloola, I'm trying to think how best to describe it. It's just 7 hours of torture basically. But after about 6 attempts of crashing, 2 spearing off the roads, 3 creek crossings, 1 where we had to walk it across, I've made it without actually tipping it over. And I've shouted myself, with a bit of help from Pete, because he felt guilty I think, because he wanted to go on that road, the deluxe donger. So you'll have to forgive me, I'm going to go and sluice off the filth and go and get something to eat and drink. Right, time to rebuild all the damage from yesterday. And also tell you a little story about the guys we ran into at Hell's Gate. Phil and Gary. Phil decided to snap his key off in the seat lock, checking the air filter. Unfortunately, he had 2 bits of key, a long bit and a short bit. So he thought, after a lot of thinking, the best way forward would be to brand new KTM 890. But the best way would be to stick the remains of the key in the lock, the ignition, and then follow it up with the fob part with all the electronics in it, and turn it and start the bike and continue on his merry way. Unfortunately, that didn't work. So he's been stranded there, and I think 3 days when we got there, and he's still there now. They were going to ride through the Simpson. Well, that didn't happen. So currently his daughter's driving up from Harvey Bay-ish to rescue him and put his stranded KTM, these bolts are fucked, put his stranded KTM on a trailer, on a ute, take it back to get a new ignition barrel. No doubt an expensive process, with all the tamper-proof bolts and everything else involved. So let's get that back on. So, and of course that leaves Gary with the problem of what to do with the rest of his holiday. In any case, a couple of legends, so we had an entertaining evening swapping stories with them. Before we headed out onto Australia's worst road. There we go, everything's back together, mirrors back on, screen back on, navy back bolted on. I even cleaned the screen. There you go.
Couldn't get any local.
Pete has had to quickly pull the BMW to bits again.
What do you mean again?
Because it's not starting. It starts once, then it runs all day, but it won't start second time in the morning. So we think it's a relay. Side little jigger there, but of course it's a gee whizzy European thing, because you know the Germans are special ones. Even though it's a Bosch relay is the standard, and that's German also.
It's European layout, if you want to be exact.
European layout.
European 5-pin changeover.
Yes, so there you go. So that's, if you understand that, there's my sausage roll. I'm going to eat that in a sec. Right. Sit rep update. Bike's back together. Pete's, I wouldn't go so far as to say he's happy, but at least he knows what's wrong with it. It turns out it looks like the Dodge starter motor.
The correct term is open circuit.
Open circuit on the, what did you say?
Motor of the starter.
On the motor of the starter
Probably
motor.
a faulty segment.
Probably a faulty segment. So you've got auto lecky out there, that'll mean something to you. So what we've done, against all advice that Pete's been handing out for the last 40 years, as an auto lecky is, we've left the cover off so we can get in and whack it with a stick.
I didn't whack it. Little
So
tap.
gently caress it,
A little tap.
a little love tap.
With
And
this.
With that, this is we're leaving out. We've got the cover which we'll strap onto the bike and take with. And yeah. Look at this. Sitting down in the ice a bit. Isn't he? over for a quick stop and came across this gentleman who's riding from Cairns to Perth. So on a scale of 1 to 10, we were just discussing the madness scale of that. Yeah, he's keen. I don't think he's mad, but yeah, he came across the Hell's Gate Road same as us on this thing, 3 days. So take my hat off to him. Here we are at Daily Waters campground. Very busy. Pub was very busy last night. State of Origin was on, so there was many people. Cows in the bar and goats wandering around and children and dogs and tourists. Not what you call a quiet spot. In fact, probably the opposite of a quiet spot. But on the bright side, today we're heading somewhere even busier, Kakadu. This is the Daily Waters World War II aircraft hangar. Yeah, but it's an interesting old shed. Quite big. I don't know what they had in here. What kind of planes? War planes. Anyway, my riding companion Pete has unfortunately decided to pull the pin at this juncture and head back home. He's just not coping with the physical hardships of being on the bike all day, every day. And these things are supposed to be fun, not a torment. So he is heading home today once he gets his starter motor working, which is still playing up. It wouldn't work again this morning. So I'll call him tonight, see how he's travelling. But onward to Kakadu today. Welcome to Kakadu. $60 a night for a small, unpowered patch of grass. Exceptional value for money. And it's 32 degrees as well, so it's humid. It's amazing, you turn off into the park, it's 29 degrees. By the time you arrive here, the humidity's gone up, doubled, and the temperature's gone up 3 degrees. It's very strange. You haven't really gone north appreciably, but it does get a lot hotter. So anyway, tomorrow we're going to have a look at some things. Stay here for 2 nights, have a bit of a break tomorrow. Rode up from Daily Waters today, pretty boring. Well, very boring really. Ride into the park's pretty good actually, it's pretty windy. It'd actually be quite good fun on a sport bike because there's no police out, you can go as fast as you like. Not that I would ever recommend doing that, of course, that would be silly. Sunset has turned out to be a dud. Well, here we are at Kakadu. It's a beautiful morning. It's not particularly cool, it's warm in fact, but the mosquitoes are absolutely brutal. Didn't bother to bring the bug spray because I'm an idiot, so I'm paying the price for that at the moment. And of course the sunrise has not really materialised into anything interesting. But on the bright side, I've got tons of mosquito bites, so there is that plus. Talk about overpriced and underserviced, this Kuinda Lodge, my god. No staff, $60 a night for a 6 metre square, bit of dirt to put your tent on, surrounded by hundreds of school kids and caravans and bloody, you name it, it's just unbelievable. It takes 15 minutes to buy a drink in the shop, just, yeah, can't recommend. 1 star. Look at the size of this thing. It's kind of hard to tell actually. I'll get up close to it and get some idea of just how big it is. I've got no idea what it is. It's just a great lump of dirt on the side of the road. So I assume they're built by kangaroos or wallabies or goannas or something. So whatever they are, they're bloody impressive. Timber Creek, Northern Territory. Really nice camping ground. Beautiful grassy spot. Big trees. Cool this morning. Rained all last night. Only light rain, but rain nonetheless. So today, head into WA to Lake Argyle, I think. Kununurra, Lake Argyle, somewhere around there. Not a long day today, only a few hundred k's. That is Timber Creek, such as it is. Good news. WA has arrived, finally. So now I've got to unpack the bike by the looks of it and divulge all my fruit and veg, of which I have none. I've got a quarter of a packet of corn chips, a muesli bar and two tins of spaghetti and a tin of stag chili. So I don't think I'm going to be that interested in it, but anyway, here it is. So we'll see you on the other side. Made it to Broome. Typical.